What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of the single player Let's Play series here that we have in FTB Revelation. So, I have discovered something about the latex processing unit and tree fluid extractor combo here. The tree fluid extractor eats the log after about, I would say, well, let's see, we've done 3 so far. So we could say probably around 22. Yeah, it looks like after 22 tiny dry rubbers worth of latex, it seems to destroy the log, which is no big deal, but just thought I would let you guys know. If you just replenish it with another log, it'll continue to produce. So you can see it's actually showing the breaking animation as it processes this as well. This is really cool. I didn't notice this beforehand, but as you can see, we are getting the latex in and it's processing everything. Another thing that I've noticed is that our power setup here does not work as planned. You'll notice that our power is dying here, and that is because I have dropped down and removed one of our conduits connecting to our solar panels, because for some reason we aren't running off of our water wheel power that I thought we would have been. So what I want to do is see if I can fix that real quick. I think I have a proposed solution. I'm pretty sure it's just that I should bridge the wires over. So let's give that a try and see if that works. So if we bridge these two together, maybe we will start getting power. I think. Yeah, there we go. We're getting power now. We're doing really great on supplies, so I think soon here we should be able to get started with our stuff. So why don't we? Tiny dry rubber can be crafted into dry rubber after you combine it in a 9x9 shape. So why don't we do that? We can do this and get ourselves... We only need 4 for now. And then what we want is the plant sower or plant gatherer. 2 of these guys. 2 of these guys. 2 iron axes. And that gets us our plant gatherer. 2 pistons. I think we have everything now? Yeah, we do. Look at that. So now we have our plant gatherer, our plant sower, some extra sticks so that I can make more torches in a minute. And I think, honestly, we're set. We can get this stuff going pretty quickly. Alright, so let's get started, shall we? For this project, we're going to need a few things. We're going to want to get some flux ducts. We will want to grab... we have our posts, and I just need to get from my backpack the engineer's hammer. That way we can route more power. So we can come up here and just grab this guy and run until it says I should stop running. So what we want to do is we want to get the plant gatherer and take a look at the radius or area of it, because I don't remember what it was. Now, it places facing away from you, just an FYI if you did not know. Of course, it's going to require power, and we can show and hide the working area. So you can see this area is pathetic. It's just a 3x3. What we want is a 9x9. So that means that the speed upgrade would be 1, or the radius upgrade would actually be 3. So why don't we look at industrial upgrade, range, or industrial range, and then we want to do a range add-on tier 3. And that gets us 2 of them. Perfect. And we can put these range add-ons in here. And as you can see, this range add-on is now covering exactly a 9x9 area, which is what I'm wanting, because I always like my farms to be 9x9 because a water source covers that area perfectly. So, now all we need is a plant sower. So the plant sower will go right here in the middle. We can turn off the working area of this guy. We don't need to see that. We can turn on the working area of this guy. So you see it's going to harvest again, or plant again, just in a 3x3 area. Pretty sad. If we upgrade that guy as well, it'll also plant in that same exact 9x9 area that I discussed earlier. So, once again, we'll turn off the working area for that. And now what we're going to do is start digging underneath, because we need to get a few things over to this plant sower. First of all, the sower is going to want some form of power. So we'll do power just like that. And what I'm thinking we can do is... hook up, why don't we make another LV wire connector? What we can do is go for some item ducts And what we can do from there... Oh, actually, you know, I have part of an idea. We have our plant gatherer over here. Why don't we switch it up? Instead of having it here, why don't we have it on the other side? It doesn't make a difference where it is, so why not just put it over here instead? We'll have to deal with some wiring problems, but that's fine. It could be worse. So what we'll do is we'll just run... We can do this. Yeah, this will be fine. We can do flux duct over here to this guy. Like so. I know it's not pretty, but we can fix that at some point. There's actually a solution. There's a proper solution for this coming, but we don't have the other resources ready for it yet. And I'm going to create a little tunnel down here. So, come on. Can I not make that jump? Really? Really? I see how you are. So this will give this guy power. Again, it has nowhere to put its items. The solution to this is we can make some item ducts and a couple of storage drawers, and that will essentially solve all of our problems. So I'm specifically leaving the bottom of this guy completely free. That way we can route our item ducts however we would like. And we can go ahead and run this straight back. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a few things. I think for now we can do quite simply this. We can break all of our crops here. Very good. Alright, so now that we have no more crops, we don't have to worry about where the heck our power is going to. We also need to figure out what to do with the sludge, but I have a solution for that as well. So we have our plant sower down here, and what we want to do, you can see the top of the texture here has these different colors, and these colors correspond to the actual GUI itself. So yellow is facing up, so we know that this corresponds to this area. And these are going to be 3x3 areas, by the way, so just keep that in mind. Our center area is going to be like the most deprived, so we're going to want to avoid putting anything super duper valuable there. We can also lock these down so that they don't change afterwards. So we can give it the seeds, and you see it's going to start planting those for us. So, I think we're not really going to need a lot of wheat, so I might go ahead and be okay with this area being designated to seeds. That's fine with me. We're going to want to grab some saplings, though, because I do want to start growing wood automatically, or harvesting wood automatically. That would be preferred. So we can do wood. How about these right segments over here? So we'll do the bottom right 3 will be, we have to unlock this. The bottom right ones will all be for saplings. And then we're going to want lots of rice. So we can put the rice over here. We can unlock this again and put the rice over here and maybe do flax on top. And there we go. So now we have a few things to consider. You notice that it's got all this stuff in here and we have to do something with it. So first things first, we need to come down here and put our filter down, and we want to tell it to only allow certain items in. So we want to say you're allowed to have, oh, this filter is not going to be big enough. Not in the slightest. Yeah, there we go. So we need to whitelist, using metadata, prevent oversending, rice, flax, vanilla seed, and oak sapling. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. And that way, those things will end up here, and everything else should go all the way down to the end. Again, the problem here is that nothing is extracting from here yet, so we need to auto-extract using this guy. And you'll notice that we should start pulling out the things that it knows what to do with. So it knows where to put seeds, where to put saplings, and where to put very few other things. But that's, for the most part, it. And we might actually be full up on seeds over here. It looks like it does not want to receive many more seeds than just 8, so that's fine. And look at that, we have our first tree growing, which is nice, and you'll see it's going to start taking care of that for us right away. So we're going to get a few things from that. We're going to get wood, We're going to get apples eventually. So there's a lot of things that we need to figure out how and where to store. But we can do that with the storage doors pretty freaking easily, and it'll be very nice. We want to get a fluid trash can. We want to get ourselves a item trash can, just in case we have overflow of items. Because I could do void upgrades, but void upgrades require obsidian, which I can mine with the diamantine pickaxe that I made. But I also am running low, or it also requires a lot more void upgrade, or obsidian for a void upgrade now. So it's not really, in my opinion, a frugal cost at this point. It used to be, but it's not anymore. So we'll go ahead and look into getting some drawers. We want to use these chests to make ourselves the regular sized storage drawers. That'll get us 9 of them. So we want to get a trash can, get some more planks, and we can do trash can. We can do a fluid trash can using a bucket. Because we can just set up a couple of drawers off here to this side, just like so. I'm putting them all the way over here just to make sure that they don't accidentally get eaten up by a tree. So, a few things that we need to handle at this point are sludge, which we can do. I don't believe this is going to work. If I do side... If I do this, are you... No, you were producing more, weren't you? Yeah, you're producing sludge still. Alright, so we're going to need to get a transfer node for that, which is no big deal whatsoever. And in fact, here, this gives us an opportunity to do something pretty cool. We can get ourselves with our anvil that we've got, and we have some fluid transfer nodes from previously. So we can grab our anvil, and we can turn this transfer node, as you can see, into a flat one. Just like that. It just smushes it with an anvil, which is... I like that the people are using that to flatten things. First the cow, now the transfer node. I'm really enjoying that. And the upside of this is now we can just do this right here. We can put the transfer node here. It attaches to the block, and now we can put down our trash can, and it should, as you can see, start extracting our sludge and putting it straight into our trash can, because I have no interest whatsoever in keeping sludge. The things that use sludge end up poisoning you, and it causes a lot of trauma. It's just not worth it to me. So, we want to do a few things. We want to get all of our materials that we're going to be getting as an output and have them ready and prepared. So, we want saplings, wood, apples, wheat, and seeds, rice and rice seeds, string, and flax seeds. And then all the way at the end we have the trash can. And that is for a reason. In fact, we don't even need to put the trash can there. We can put the trash can underground. So let's start digging out from under these guys. And now we can run over here where I should. There we go. I have some conduit, or item duct rather. And we can just set up using these. So we'll have them going all the way here, and then if it can't get anything from that point, then it'll go all the way to the trash can. But it'll try the other points first, or at least it should in theory. I believe they still work that way, where they're first come, first serve. So there we go. I think the setup is completely finished. Just grab ourselves some cobble. And so we should start seeing a decent amount of stuff coming through here. Nothing is stuck in here, so that's good. As long as nothing is still in here, we can pretty much assure ourselves that we are doing just fine. And this guy's going to use energy pretty much constantly, but I'm okay with that. I think that that's perfectly reasonable in consideration to what it's doing for us. We're getting wood from this setup. Watch. So when the tree gets cut down, we should end up with a little bit more wood. Yep, there we go. 126. That really did take quite a long time, I'll be honest, but that's okay. It didn't have to be quick. It just needs to work. So there we go. Remember how I promised that we would get something with automated farming done? Well, we did something with automated farming. It is done. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looked pretty good. We could do better with our wire management, I will admit. But in general, I am mostly satisfied. So we have a lot of books that are taking up this chest, so why don't we make ourselves an Akashic Tome? That's not too terribly difficult to make. And our Akashic Tome can be combined with pretty much any manual / guidebook there is in the game. So that'll get rid of a few of these. I don't know how much else you can really get rid of. So we can put these together normally. I don't know if it's going to let us, though. That's weird. Is it going to do any of these? Oh, I'm using the wrong thing. Duh. There we go. So we can put all of these together here in this one giant book of books. And our Akashic Tome is now going to store all of our Roots books, our Industrial Foregoing book, and our Astral Tome. And if we had any other guidebooks in the future, we'd be set. Another one that we can do, while we're on a roll with combining inventory items, is we can go ahead and make ourselves a piece of cactus green. We will need a red dye and a piece of lapis and 2 pieces of iron, if I remember the recipe correctly. We can get our morphing tool. So the morphing tool is another really neat little thing that we can make, because we can combine the morphing tool with all of our various hammers and not hammer, but all of our various wrenches, and we can use it to switch between mods that correspond with their proper hammer or wrench or whatever. And there we go. We now have a morpho tool that has immersive engineering and gadgetry and thermal dynamics and thermal foundation stuff. So as you can see, if we pull up the morpho tool over top of some object, for example, a wooden post from immersive engineering, it'll bring out our hammer. And if we bring it up over something else, it can figure that stuff out as well. See? So it is really smart and really cool as well. We can use these two in combination with each other to help save inventory space and just kind of alleviate a lot of problems we have. So now I thought it would be cool if we could work on another little bit of automation, because it's kind of what I'm in the mood for right now. Oh yeah, and we should be done transferring all of our fluids out of there, so we can break this guy. We can put this guy, and if you hold down control while you place one, it actually put it in pulling mode instead of pushing mode. So let's look into making, I want to get an infinite stone generator, because I think stone is going to be a particularly useful material to have, especially for building. I like it a lot for building. So I'd like to get that going, and I think it's going to be very straightforward to do. I think it's something we can do in the last little smidgen of this episode even. So let's get to it, shall we? We are going to need to get an igneous extruder and an aqueous accumulator. Honestly, the one that we have out here will probably work out just fine. I don't think we need to keep it here for much longer. I think we're at a point now where it should be good to just come with us. Because I think for a hot minute we'll be okay without latex. So I think it'll be fine. Because I don't know how much longer I plan on keeping this stuff here. I think we might just move it somewhere else anyways. So one thing to note is this guy is going to use up some power whenever we have it processing our stone for us, which is okay. It's not that big of a deal. The aqueous accumulator does not use power, but since this is using a machine frame, it is safe to assume that it will need it. And we have plenty of these guys. Wow, we got quite a lot of those, in fact. We needed just 1 tin gear, but we need 4 iron, and 4 of you, and 4 pieces of tin that we barely can afford, and some cobblestone. Let's just run over here and craft all this stuff up. So we want this guy, this guy, this guy. We wanted 2 of those in-bar gears, which we can totally do, and we'll get 2 of you, and 2 of you. Not 3, just 2. We can get ourselves in-bar gears, which we haven't made yet, but there's a first time for everything. We can get ourselves a redstone reception coil, because of course we are going to be inputting power. We should probably just go ahead and save the piston recipe in here, because we seem to use that quite a lot. And put those in there. And there we go. 1 igneous extruder. So the igneous extruder is going to produce stone for us. And what I thought we could do is maybe not there. I was thinking we could put it somewhere, though, in this house. How about right here? So what we can do is have our water sources here and here for our aqueous accumulator. Put it down right in the center. And tell it to extract or output on top, which is fine. Put down our igneous extruder here. It's going to require power again. We can put in stone as our recipe and tell it to input on the bottom and extract on the or output on the top. It's going to start getting water. So now the only thing left that it needs is some lava. We don't have any, but we can get some pretty easily. I'm sure there's some place around here that I found a pool of lava right on the surface. So let me go get a bucket of lava real quick, and I will be back in just a little bit. And there we go. That gives us lava. It's going to use up a little bit of power. Not very much, just 20 RF per tick. And it's going to not touch... It's going to use our water source, but it's not going to touch our 1 lava source. We don't have to add any more lava ever again. And now all we have to do is grab ourselves that drawer that we made earlier. I guess we're just going to use it here, because I'm still not going to go to the nether. And that gets us smooth stone. Alright guys, so I've been running around and spelunking like crazy, and as you can see, I have 32 levels of experience, which is quite a lot. I wanted to go fighting some mobs again, because there's 3 endermen outside that I'm really interested in, but I don't want to lose all my experience levels, so I want to get myself there's a tome of knowledge from thermal expansion that I'd like to make. It'll use the only 2 emeralds we have, but I'm perfectly okay with that. We're gonna need to get some stuff from outside, and we need to do it quickly before we get creeped up on. Awesome. So we can go ahead and make up some more of those patterns that we were needing to get ourselves another Tinker's Construct book recipe. And we needed 2 of those and 1 of those. That gets us our book. And then the Tome of Knowledge is going to be just the book and the emerald. And that will be good. We have that now. And we can right-click on this guy to store our experience in a book instead of risking losing it. And the best part is we can combine it in our Akashic Tome here, and it'll also work just how you would expect. So it's pretty amazing in that aspect. So let's go fight some mobs. So I reorganized the farm a little bit, as you can probably very easily tell. So we have 4 corners of saplings still. I got rid of the blocks that we had over here for flax. I don't think we're going to need that much string, so I decided to cancel that and just go ahead and stick down some more rice in the place of it, because, who cares? Wouldn't be a bad idea to do it. As you can see, our farming for other materials is going great. This actually had a lot more sugarcane in it, but I grabbed an entire stack earlier to make some more sugar. So that kind of goes to show you that we're doing super well on a lot of these resources. We almost have freaking 2048, an entire full drawer of wood, which is phenomenal. So I think that's going to be pretty cool once we get to the point that all of that stuff is completely full up and we can access it through some sort of system. Would be neat too. So I've disconnected this area from power just because we're not really using it at the moment, and I kind of want to automate that somewhat better in the future. So I'll kind of get into that here soon, I would imagine. And the only other thing that I did, because it's been a couple of days since my last recording session, even though it's all a part of the same episode, I did play a little bit, but not really a lot. The only thing I did was add a little bit extra power. So you'll see there's an extra water wheel over there. It's laid out exactly the same as our previous one, as you can see. And I did swap them out with stone bricks from cobblestone because we were starting to generate all that stone from our igneous extruder that we have. So I went ahead and made it and added it up to the second line. And now we have the power lines coming down and transferring power across both lines to our series of machines, both over here and elsewhere. So one thing that I do want to get done for our farm, since we are at a point where we can totally afford it, and this guy is still processing ores from before. Not that there's a lot left to process. It looks like it's just now doing the last little bit. Cool. There is one last thing that I want to do in this episode before we call it a day. I have been grinding off camera, trying to get the last few creeper or catalyzed glands for creepers, and we have gotten them. As I was exploring, I managed to find myself a slime pearl. So if you can use your imagination, I want to combine that with a rib bone, which we have a lot of, and some green dye, which we can go make real quick from our cactus farm here. And we can get ourselves something that'll help this farm out ridiculously wonderfully. So we'll cook up these 3 and leave our uranium grit back in here to smelt again. Alright, so now we can combine these together to get ourselves 3 fertile essence. So now the only little bit left is we need to find ourselves back at that swamp that we found at the beginning of the map. There was a pretty big swamp over here, if you remember. So let's head back there and see what we can get over there. There's a key ingredient over there that we need. So what was that thing, you might be wondering? Well, it was a lily pad. And at this point, you can probably figure out what I'm making, but if these things are as wonderful as they used to be, which I am pretty darn tootin' that they are, then this upgrade will make our farm ridiculously wonderful. It will make pretty much everything beyond over the top, to be real. So once we get back, I'll show you what I plan on making, and we'll see if we run into any hiccups with my plan here. I don't remember how all of this works for sure. I haven't used it in a long time, so it could be something that I forgot. So if we take our lily pad and combine it with 3 fertile essence, we get ourselves, where was it? It showed up. There we go. A lily pad of fertility. And I believe if we place it down, all of these things should start growing at least slightly faster. Maybe not super rapidly, but you can see our sugarcane's growing notably faster now. Let me head to sleep real quick, and we'll take a look at that a little bit closer when we can actually see stuff. So let's take a look here and see how well we're doing now that we keep on having our stuff get uprooted, which is not very nice. But you can see it's been throwing off these little particle effects. Yeah, that guy just grew, and that was not that was one that just grew not too long ago. So I am definitely already enjoying the outcome. These lighting updates are causing this to be a really bad multi-block farm. And by multi-block, I mean multiple crop type, but still. See? And it's actually causing a decent bit of lag, too. I'll be curious if that is or will be fixed in the future. I have a feeling that part of that is not necessarily my farm setup. But then again, there are better ways of farming stuff. You have to consider there's always the garden cloche from Immersive Engineering, which seems to have an unchanged recipe. Yeah. But I am pretty proud of what all we've gotten accomplished this episode. I think having auto farm this early on in the game is pretty tremendous. I think it's definitely no easy feat to behold. So I am proud of us. I think we should definitely be set on a lot of really simple resources for a while now, which is phenomenal. Having automated food, automated. This isn't automated, but the wood part is. The wood part's automated, but the seeds are not really. Kind of are, but not super duper. Having automated smooth stone, decently automated processing. I think the next obvious step here is to do automatic sorting, so we'll probably get into that next episode. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys are happy with how the Let's Play is coming along so far. I might look into ways that we can make this house a little bit bigger and a little bit better. As you can see, we're kind of outgrowing our work here. We're kind of you know, getting a little bit too big for our britches. So we might look into other options here in a little bit. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.